Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of French Fridays. I don't know how I'm gonna start this. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of French Fridays. I'm going back to France this summer, so we've started to think about where we want to go to after Austin finishes his finals. And this kind of made me start thinking because a lot of people equate going to France with going to Paris. And France is so much bigger than just Paris, right? That's its capital city, but there's a whole other country around it that is waiting to be explored. So today, I want to talk to you about my favorite places to visit in France that are not Paris. So I've done a city guide on this before, which I'll put in a card up here, but one of my absolute favorite places to visit in France that's not Paris, and that's beautiful in every single season, is Annecy. So Annecy is on the east part of the country, and it goes up to Lake Annecy, I believe is what it's called, but it's situated kind of at the start of the Alps, and you're looking at this beautiful blue lake. I'll put a picture in here. And not only is it beautiful in the summer, it's rich with greens, the lake is blue, the city's got, colors to it as well. It's got pinks, it's got yellows. It's got that kind of old charm that I really, really like when I visit France. But you've got not only city activities that you can do, plus they also have a legit third wave coffee shop there, which is a plus. It's not always easy to find those in France, but you've also got a ton of outdoor activities you can do. We went hiking when I was there, and I had to freak out because I'm not a big hiker. And then we also saw people parasailing or paragliding, where you have the big parachute and they just ran off the mountain and then went over the thing. In the summer, you can also rent little boats to go out on Lake Annecy, and it's just a beautiful place. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's a really, really great place to visit. Another one of my top places is the south of France. Now, the south of France is huge, and I have not visited all of it. Last spring, we went on a 5-week road trip through the French Riviera and then into Provence. Provence is my absolute favorite place in France. It's just, there's nothing more romantic and more charming than Provence, and especially the Luberon Valley. When I studied abroad in France, I studied abroad in Aix-en-Provence, which is really, really beautiful. It's I think it's a pretty small town. There are fountains, honestly, at every single corner because it's called the City of Water, because there are fountains everywhere. And it's one of the oldest cities in France. Marseille, I think, is the oldest city, and Aix-en-Provence is just a little bit older than that. If you go, make sure you get a guide because you can see they'll point out the original walls of the original city way back when and how it's expanded. It's just a beautiful city. And then another city in Provence that I think is gorgeous is called Roussillon. And it's a red city, and the story comes, like most French stories, it starts with a mistress and a lover and drama, and that's how all the French cities get founded, according to lore. So this city, it has red dirt because someone got stabbed, a lover got stabbed, and then the woman, his mistress, got tricked into eating his heart. Savage. But this is a beautiful, beautiful area, and they also have les Sentiers des Ocres, which I think is the ochre footpaths. That's really, really beautiful to walk through. Another just charming little town, perfect for a day trip, just stunning. And we stayed in an Airbnb last time that had an actual rock, piece of rock mountain inside of it next to the bed, in a very small town called Saint-Saturnin-les-Aptes? Saint-Saturnin-les-Aptes. Oh my God, I can't talk today. Saint-Saturnin-les-Aptes. once again, super colorful, really, really small town. I think there was like a bakery and 2 restaurants, but this was a perfect place to kind of go and visit other ones. If you're in that area, make sure you also stop by and visit Gourd, which is just an amazing town on like a mountain. I'll post a link because it's called one of the prettiest villages of France. And if you go to this site, there's an interactive map, and it's a great way to find places to visit in France that you wouldn't necessarily think of. And if you are looking for a city vibe similar to Paris, I've just never found Paris really to be a place that I want to stay in for a long time. It's big, it's busy, it's not super clean. I don't know. It's got all the stuff that you want to see, but once you see that stuff, it doesn't have a big appeal for me. So if you're looking for another city trip, I suggest going to Lyon. Lyon is the 3rd largest city and the gastronomic capital of France. They've got these cool little things that are only in Lyon. They're these family-style restaurants called bouchons. And you sit in, there's usually some kind of fixed menu where you have a menu and you can choose your appetizer, what they call an entree, your main course, and then a dessert. But they've got really, really unique dishes that you can't find in other places. If you're brave, go for the andouillette sausage. If you're not so brave, go for the quenelles. Those are like, it's like a giant puffy bread pasta thing that is so good. But Lyon in 2016 was voted the best weekend travel destination. It's not too big, but you've got tons of crazy things to see. And honestly, I think they have the most beautiful basilica. It's on the top of a hill. So Lyon, it is, you've got 2 rivers going through it. What are they called? I don't know. I can't remember what they're called. And then, so you have your old town, and then you have this crazy, decorative, elaborate, just gorgeous basilica on the top of the hill and like a baby Eiffel Tower. I think it's just a radio tower. But then Lyon also has a newer area as well. It's just a great all-around city and really easy, really accessible for a weekend visit. I think we would have lived there if it wasn't so expensive to live in. So those are my top 3 places. Visit Annecy, visit Provence, really pick any city in Provence, and then make sure to visit Lyon and just skip Paris. I haven't been to the western portion of France yet, but if you guys have any recommendations, let me know your favorite cities that are not Paris. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.